room two, and we Svaney and Manali together in this. So carry on last week's concept of the mutual app. We go deeper in this week.
So starting the week, we had an idea that would be a reciprocity-based trading system. Basically, people could be either giving their time or requesting what they might need, and it would all be recorded on a blockchain transaction. So if you have some free time, you could be giving hours and it would be recorded, or maybe an old lady needs help moving a couch or something and you could be going and helping them do that. But we realized that it doesn't really relate to Brixton, and we want something that actually has the vibes and feel of Brixton. So then we looked up the vicinity of Brixton and looking at what might be special there. So there's Caribbean atmosphere, there's a lot of different cultures, languages spoken, many different food choices, street art everywhere, and a lot of different musical influences that we want to kind of tap into.
So we just look for the topic of like cultural hybridity, and kind of like sort out, wanted to sort out like how is the cultures in Brixton like mixed together or something like that. So we did a experiment, or also like co-design and also research on the streets of Brixton. So let's see the video.
So these are few of the images which we were talking about, the speciality of Brixton, like the clothes. There's a store of merchandise named as Divers. There were flags, there were music, people were gelling around. There were different kind of cuisines there. And we found a board which had written that Brixton is unified by a resolute commitment to individuality and true originality, an easy energy of source of inspiration to its residents and visitors alike. So, and this was the experience which we had there.
We have asked like random passers-by, what are they listening to, and could they share the music they're listening to with us, and also like could they write down something or video something on the shirt. So we spoke to and just the music we have as well. Like the girl, I really like the girl, and what she's writing is the CD.
over that. One or the other.
People in Brixton are friendly and loving to share their stories as us and attracted by our topics. And over 14 or 15 people from different countries talk to us.
And we played their music.
No. They're 2 meters apart.
Get your hair like.
Oh yeah, that's what absolutely one. Take a cookie gun. Too close together.
So we spoke to, I think, 20 different nationalities over the course of about 2 to 3 hours. And yeah, some people were kind of hesitant to come up and talk to us, but when they did, they were very, very lovely. So we decided to kind of pivot from the original idea to kind of figure out what it means to be a Brixtonite. And we came up with this idea of a cultural trading network where uniqueness is used as a currency. So maybe there is someone that knows how to make authentic Caribbean food, or maybe someone knows a very unique dialect of a language, or all these different very unique characteristics that people in Brixton have. We want them to be able to share those on this sort of network that we want to create. And then last night we met with This Ain't Rock and Roll, and we were talking with them for a little while, but one of the men that we were talking with, he had this idea, or there's this concept that he knew about that we wanted to move and look a little bit forward. It's proof of human. So right now, Algorand is proof of stake, but if we want to do something that is about a human-to-human interaction, we'd love to kind of tap into this idea of the uniqueness of a person, like their fingerprint or facial recognition, as the way that you could be verifying these events on the blockchain. Thank you.
So I love that you went out and actually physically decided to engage the community in Brixton in the project. And you made this t-shirt, but did you find out anything through that exercise?
Yeah, we found out, a lot about people's unique culture, but also we found out people were saying Brixton has been changing, that on the high street there's a lot more like Costas and big chains that a lot of people weren't actually in favor of. So it does go back to this concept of people kind of getting closer to home and kind of have a unique form that actually situates in Brixton.
Until now, we were just seeing images and all that, but like doing it practically and seeing the excitement of people, like they really want to share their culture, they really want to gel in that way.
The discussion you had, it was with Guy, right? That's the guy.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
When you talk about human node technology, did you discuss like any ethical concerns within that, like the biometric data and stuff being used?
So this concept they have for a human node, apparently they say that it's a decentralized network based on private biometrically encrypted nodes. So I don't know actually what the implications would be behind that, but it seems like if it is decentralized and it's somehow private, then people would be protected. But we haven't done a
I think it would also be an uphill battle of communication, because if you're asking people to like give their fingerprints or their face over to some system that they don't know, it could be quite challenging if they don't know it all.
Sure.
Just my initial thoughts on hearing that.
We are also thinking about how to improve that as well, because we know that fingerprint can fake as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, we are thinking about like looking at that, but try to like go step forward, something like that.
to you from this guy from Algo.
Yeah. I think he was a consultant, I think. Yes.
Did you speak to him as well?
We didn't speak to him that directly, we spoke to a board member.
Yeah, I don't know, he relates to the Brixton pound, I don't know if he's working for them or for Elron.
You've got the time for oh, I see, yeah.
Confused, that's all.
This is the mid-morning section.
Is it? It's a leisurely session.
Yeah, I'd like to stop and have a pause and a coffee. Yeah.
After second breakfast.
After second breakfast, yeah, as all these holidays do. Sorry, we're distracting. So, more questions?
I have to. I really like the uniqueness as a courtesy. I really love like the concept. Like if someone knows a recipe or someone knows a dialect, they would be willing to share. If you are willing to take this idea further, how would you measure the value of this? How would you, for example, if I share my recipe with someone, how would you make sure that I get something in return that is as valuable as what I share, or isn't something that you want to avoid at all?
We're not looking like a quite like direct reward. We are looking like different nodes or different blocks. For instance, A and B, like A gives something to me. I may not need something from A, but I need something from C. But in that networks, we can have some sort of like transaction happening, and people in the networks will know about that. And we can know like, oh, I need something, and I can learn something from someone else. And or I don't learn something, I just kind of like communicate with them and like try to seek for some new things happen or something like that. And that's what we thought yesterday, like till now.
Yeah, so with your token, you can pick what you think is valuable to spend your token on.
I really like you little workshop. That is always good to go out to see some people. And I just want to know like what they write on your T-shirt.
Oh yeah.
Many things.
This is like their language, their music, their city, and what they like about culture, what they like about Brixton.
Yeah. This is the first piece. I messed it up, but this is the very first piece of like writing we got, and I really like this one. This means the city in Italian.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, in French, right?
French.
L'italiano è la città.
Oh, okay.
Ça c'est le français, la cité.
And also, like this is the one we got from a woman who do the charity work, and she asked us for some like plates as well. She wanted like give food to people, so I just give her a set of like plates or something like that. Yeah, like quite a lot of like stories happening.
I have another question. Because I know your brief is about how to materialize the blockchain, and I feel some culture is not like physical stuff. How do you plan to make use the outcome of some culture, like say like some artifacts, or you want to use the language is the thing you can't touch?
You mentioned about like something intangible and also invisible as well. So that's also what we are kind of like thinking. We also talk about this with or communicate with this and rock and roll, and they said that's the talks you should like think about. So we kind of like think, oh, we may not want that much about application. We may not want those kind of like intangible stuff as well. So that may be the next step. We will step on something like that. Thank you for pointing out.
So this system where you share by culture and such, so is this access to the bank terminals you showed in the earlier slides, or is this going to Or have you not thought about that yet? Which is fine.
That was the initial idea, but I don't know if this new idea will actually need that.
Yeah.
We don't know yet, I don't
No, that's
know.
fine. I think it's cool.
I like the fact that you guys went out and actually immersed yourself into the culture. And I just, out of curiosity, did you get to ask them about the Brixton town and how many people knew about it, or have they even heard of it?
Some people did, some didn't. We asked I don't know if you remember seeing on the video, the former mayor. She said she knew about it, but a lot of people were kind of confused at where it was at right now. So we kind of had to explain what's happening with it right now.
Did you go to different parts of Brixton to see if you got different answers, or did you stay in that area?
We walk 2 places, actually.
We had to move the original spot because we were on someone's property, so we kind of moved to a different spot for most of the time.
I have a question about the group of human idea that you have, which I think is very interesting. But I wonder, I mean, the idea behind the blockchain was to avoid any kind of human. We want it to be as safe as possible, so you want to remove the human aspect of it. So I wonder why you would bring it up here to that context. If it's for more security, then I wonder if there's another way that you could guarantee that without gathering anyone's data through a fingerprint or anything.
I guess when we were talking with Guy yesterday, he was saying he thought this was really interesting because you can't get any more decentralized than a human, but there's other implications behind that, I guess, that we all need to consider.
Yeah.
Especially if you're doing facial recognition. I mean, that documentary on Netflix that John, of course, watched about, it showed how unreliable that can be and the other implications that brings as well.
Seeing the human.
Well, it's like,
Oh, what is it called?
Coded
Data
bias.
something.
Coded bias.
Yeah, data bias.
we're going to try to follow the directive.
Yes.
You remind me. Can I try that, Minister? Good job, you guys. Yeah, I love the fact you're wearing the research outcomes. I think that's really cool. I wonder if it's related though, if you see what I mean. So what is embodied about the research question that would make that method valid or appropriate? I can see that kind of writing on a t-shirt is a thing that is, someone can understand, that is definitely better than kind of filling out a questionnaire, isn't it? But the next step for me would be to think about, okay, here's a method that is intimately connected with research question. So that for me, the questions would be about fashion, maybe, or body size, or body shape, or something like that. I think it's, admire the fact you've put yourselves out on the street of Brixton to do something. That shows a good level of commitment, I'd say. The human proof of human, intriguing. For sure, I think. When do we do it? Well, you do it when you apply for a passport. It's alright, it's great. And it's worth it. Do you get a passport? So I guess the question is, what do you get in exchange for your biometric data? Most of the time you get nothing, because the forces of social control are just looking at you. You don't ever get to look at them, for example. So that might be a good way to think about it. If there's an exchange, I can see a situation where it would be worth it for me. But what is that situation? That would be an important one to think about. I was talking to a friend of mine, radioactive pizza apples, and he works on the sort of security establishment. He says they can do a facial recognition that measures your distance between your pupils, and that will be accurate from 5-year-old to an 85-year-old. The technology is incredibly advanced. I think far beyond what any of us think is possible. But that's a really interesting thing to think about, proof of human. What is human is the eventual question. Is it only our bodies, or are there other things about us that are distinctively human and not anything else?
I completely agree. That's a really interesting line to take. I think we'd be very careful of biometrics because there's a sort of whole instrumental angle to it where it's seen by some people, especially to do with money, as that's the answer to everything.
Not to say dismiss it and forget
No.
it, but, you know,
Yeah,
the
prove
designers
it.
designed it.
Yeah.
Alright. Good job, guys.
Thank you.